The Hare and the Tortoise. In the heart of a lush green forest, where sunbeams dappled the mossy floor and a sparkling lake mirrored the sky, lived a hare with a twitching nose and feet as fast as the wind. He was known throughout the woods for his incredible speed, a fact he never let anyone forget. Among the other forest dwellers was a calm and thoughtful tortoise whose movements were as slow and deliberate as the changing of the seasons. One bright morning the hare was zipping along the lake's edge, a brown blur against the vibrant green of the ferns. He skidded to a halt near the tortoise, who was methodically munching on a juicy clover. "Hurry up, you slow coach," the hare scoffed, his whiskers trembling with amusement. "Don't you find life terribly dull, taking an entire morning to cover a few yards? I could have run to the other side of the lake and back by now." He puffed out his chest, proud of his swiftness. The other animals, a chattering squirrel, a shy deer, and a family of bustling field mice, paused to listen. They had often heard the hare's boasts. The tortoise, however, continued his meal for a moment, swallowed thoughtfully, and then looked up at the hare with a calm expression. "It is true you are swift, my friend," the tortoise said, in his low, steady voice, "but there is more to a journey than just speed. I see the tiny dewdrops on the spider webs and feel the warmth of the sun on my shell. What do you see in your rush?" The hare just laughed, a loud, brash sound that startled the nearby mice. "I'm so fast, I could beat anyone in this forest in a race." A new glint appeared in the ancient tortoise's eyes. "Is that a challenge?" he asked, a quiet confidence in his tone that surprised the onlookers. "If you are so certain, then let us have a race. We shall race through the wood to the old gnarled oak tree on the hill." The hare could hardly believe his ears. He doubled over with laughter. "A race? With you? That's the funniest thing I've ever heard. But very well, I agree. It will be a fine bit of sport to show everyone just how fast I truly am." A wise old fox, respected for his fairness, was chosen to mark the start and finish lines and to be the judge. The starting line was a row of smooth river stones near the lake, and the finish line was the grand oak tree visible on a distant hill. All the animals of the forest gathered to watch, their excitement buzzing in the air. The fox raised a large leaf. "On your mark, get set, go!" The hare shot off like an arrow from a bow. Dust kicked up from his powerful hind legs as he vanished into the trees. In just a few minutes, he was completely out of sight. The tortoise, in contrast, began with a single deliberate step, and then another and another, his pace unwavering. Far ahead, the hare paused to look back. There was no sign of the tortoise. He chuckled to himself. "What a funny race it is! I am already halfway through. The air is getting a bit chilly, but the sun is so warm over here. Why not have a little nap in this cozy patch of sunshine? I'll have plenty of time to finish the race when I wake up." He found a comfortable spot under a large fern, curled up, and quickly fell into a deep sleep, dreaming of victory wreaths and the cheers of the crowd. Meanwhile, the tortoise walked steadily on and on. He didn't stop to look around or to worry about the hare. He just kept his eyes on the path ahead, his mind focused on his goal. He passed the chattering squirrel, who wished him luck. He nodded to the shy deer, who peeked at him from behind a bush. He walked with a rhythm that was slow but incredibly persistent. As the sun began to dip lower in the sky, the tortoise came upon the sleeping hare. He saw his competitor, lost in dreams, but he didn't feel smug or triumphant. He simply continued on his way, one steady step after another. The hare slept far longer than he had intended. A cool breeze finally rustled the fern above him, and he awoke with a start. He looked around in surprise and said to himself, "Not even a sigh of the poor tortoise anywhere so far. I had better trot along and finish the race." He stretched his long legs and then bounded down the path, his speed as impressive as ever. He raced through the woods, expecting to see the tortoise plodding along at any moment, but the path remained empty. As he neared the finish line, a strange sound reached his ears, the sound of cheering. The hare burst out of the trees and ran to the goal. He was amazed to see all the animals gathered around the old oak tree, cheering for the tortoise, who had arrived just a minute earlier. The tortoise stood there, tired but with a quiet smile on his face. The hare skidded to a stop, his ears drooping. How ashamed he felt indeed. He had the gift of speed, but his arrogance had been his downfall. The wise old fox stepped forward and declared the tortoise the winner. The tortoise, in his humble way, simply nodded. He had proven that it is not always the fastest who wins, but the one who is persistent and focused.